Hello, today I'm going to show you how to do click outside event. So when we click outside of the dropdown, it will close the dropdown. So as you can see, for now we have only a button that is here, and we have a div with our options that is here. And the first thing we want to do is to make this button clickable. So when we click on it, it will close or open this dropdown. So to do this, I will first use state. So let's do const here is open and set is open will be use state and the default will be false. Now let's make this class name dynamic. So let's remove this open and let's add a class name. If is open, then we'll add a class name open, otherwise closed, like this. And now it's closed because the default value is false, and if we change it to true, it will be open. Right now let's fix our button. So on click, we want to do a function that will just do set is open, and here we'll have the previous value, and from the previous value, if it was close, so it was false, we want to return true, and if it was true, we want to return false. So we can just do opposite of previous. So now when we click, it opens and closes. All right, but now we want also to fix that when we click outside, for example here or here, we want also to close this dropdown. So to do this, I will register a body event using useEffect that will close this dropdown if we are not clicking this button. So here, let's do useEffect with empty parentheses here. So it will be executed when we mount our component. So when we mount our component, we want to register an event on the body. So let's do this here. So document body add event listener. And here we want to pass on click because this is a click event, and here the name of the function. We don't have it yet, so I will create it here. So let's do const. Let's call this one close dropdown, and we'll pass event information, and here is the function. All right, so we want to only close the dropdown when we run this. So let's do set is open to false, and now we can use this function here, close dropdown, like this. And now this works, but we want to also remove this event listener when we unmount our components. So let's do return here, and the function that we return will be run when we unmount the component. So let's do document body remove event listener close dropdown. Okay, now it's better. But now the problem is that when we click this options button, nothing happens. And this is because this will run. So it will open our options here, our dropdown, but this runs as well, because when we click the button, the event is propagated down to the body. To fix this, I will use the event information we have here. So let's do just console log event. And now let's see what happens when we click it. Okay, we get an event information here. And here inside we have something called path. So we can check if the path was button, and then we can exclude the button from the clicking here. All right, so we want to run this only if path of 0 is not a button. So we can do if, and here event path first element, so 0, and here tag name is different than button, then we want to run this. Now let's see. Yeah, now when we click our button, everything works. And if we click outside of the button, it also works. It closes the dropdown. Okay, but now the small problem is that there can be another button, maybe somewhere here. And when we click it, this dropdown will remain open. And maybe we don't want this. We want to check that this button is actually this button here. So to check it, we can't just check if it's any button. We need to check for this specific button. So to do this, I will use reference. So I would do const button reference, and here I will do useRef. And now I will add reference to our button here. So reference here will be button ref, and here where we exclude our button, instead of checking the tag name of that it's any button, we will just check if it's not a reference to our button. So button reference here, current is not the button we have clicked. Right, now let's save and let's check it. Button works. When we click outside, it works too.